Welcome, folks. Glad you're here because somebody's got to keep tabs on the Democrats while they trip over their own policies like a three-legged race with no finish line. On today's episode, we have Gavin Newsom, the slick-haired illusionist who swears world leaders are laughing at Trump when really they're laughing at him for melting down over a hat. Yes, really, a hat. The man turned a ball cap into a full-blown therapy session. But let's kick things off with Democrat Communist Council member Imelda Padilla proudly bragging about chopping an affordable housing project here in LA from 6 stories down to 3 just to squeeze in some EV chargers. That's peak Democrat logic. Waste money, shrink solutions, and dress up failure as progress.
Are you focused on what will ultimately make California affordable for the people in your district?
Well, I am. By law, I really have no jurisdiction anymore because it's an ED1, right? But we still, as a team, got together with the developer, the high school across the street, other stakeholders, and instead of building something that was potentially 6 stories, we got it down to 3 stories. And we also got the developer to also work with us to make sure that it helps the families of the area. We also said, instead of a ton of office space, we do want you to also incorporate a few more parking lots and EV chargers. So yeah, there's some developers that have built housing where it looks like a big...
Did this chick even understand the question he asked, or is she just objectively retarded? You could see it in John Lovett's face. She literally said the exact opposite of what he was asking her. He pressed her on affordability, and she comes back bragging about cutting a 6-story housing project down to 3 and sprinkling in some EV chargers. She talks about it like it's some great development. Like she just won a prize for innovation. Oh, congratulations. Fewer homes and more Tesla parking spots. That's Democrat math, folks. Less equals more. Shrink the solution, then sell it as progress. Now, look, I'm going to be honest for a second. From my perspective, less government building is usually a good thing. I'd much rather see private enterprise and the free market handle housing than bureaucrats with clipboards and subsidies. But that's not what she's saying. She's selling the idea that cutting the size of a housing project and throwing in luxury-style amenities like EV chargers is somehow a victory for working families. That's delusion, not development. And you can see it in the faces of the people in the room, these communists. John Lovett, a Democrat communist masquerading as a late-night pundit on this dumb podcast. And Anthony Weiner, of all people. Anthony freaking Weiner is shocked. When you've gone so far off the cliff that these guys look at you in disbelief, you're basically Wile E. Coyote holding an anvil in midair. And this is the bigger story here, folks. Democrats love to package these things as affordable housing victories, but the record is ugly. In California, billions have been poured into housing programs over the last decade. And what do we have to show for it? The state auditor found that one of the main programs spent over $2 billion and produced fewer than 20,000 units, with costs soaring past $500,000 per unit, sometimes even $750,000 to $1 million per apartment in Los Angeles. That's not affordability. That's money laundering dressed up as compassion. Developers, nonprofits, and politically connected contractors get rich while the homeless population and the working class keeps getting grifted. Let's take this a step further and look at Gavin Newsom's infamous Project Home Key, which he touted as revolutionary, but it's riddled with waste and corruption. We've got several examples of nonprofits like Step Up on 2nd and Shangri-La Industries taking hundreds of millions, failing to deliver promised units, and in some cases outright defaulting on projects. We're talking abandoned motels, inflated contracts, and executives pocketing cash while people sleep on the sidewalks outside, all on the taxpayer dime. This is what happens when affordable housing becomes an industry. It's less about homes and more about funneling taxpayer dollars into the hands of well-connected players. Here's a cultural angle. Democrats keep pretending that symbols equal solutions. It's never about solving the actual crisis. It's about signaling to their base that they care. EV chargers, rainbow flags, sustainability buzzwords, and endless public hearings. It's all they do. Meanwhile, the people who actually need housing, working families, mentally ill, the homeless, they all get less. Less housing, less accountability, less opportunity. What they do is get more government, more corruption, more taxes, all while the middle class gets ransacked for their tax dollars and their quality of life gets completely gutted because it doesn't go into the services that are supposed to make this state great. Padilla said here isn't just one clueless LA council member rambling off script. It's a window into the Democrat playbook. They destroy supply and then pretend demand doesn't exist. They shrink projects and call it progress. They turn housing into a slush fund for consultants and nonprofits, while the communities they claim to serve keep spiraling downward. Like the die-hard Democrat communists like Lovett and Weiner look stunned. Tells you everything you need to know about how far off the Democrat Party has gone and is going. It looks like it's never going to stop, to be honest with you, because the mask keeps slipping, and at this point, even the choir is seeing the level of the con.